Sunday, I woke up early to the disruptive sound of knocking. It was Carol. I hadn't seen her since the Thursday tour. She wore khaki work pants and a t-shirt tucked in with the belt. And her hair, which seemed to be a slightly lighter brown than the day before, was fuller and pulled back into a higher ponytail. She said she remembered me mentioning I had no furniture and said a friend of hers, Phyllis, was having a yard sale up the street. Oh, thanks. There's a small couch, a wicker chair, and some shelves I think you might like, Carol continued. Thanks for the tip, I told her, though not quite grateful to get a knock at the door so early. Fourth house on the right, the purple one. Can't miss it, Carol said. Thanks again. I started to close the door, but remembered something. What time? As soon as you get there. First come, first served. She flashed a smile and was gone up the street. After breakfast Sunday, I showered for the first time in the new bathroom. The water pressure was strong, a bonus. By 11, I was dressed and out the door. When I stumbled upon Carol's friend's purple house, I made a series of quick and easy decisions. Everything Carol had recommended. The small couch, the wicker chair, and the bookshelves. Plus a small cypress side table. Phyllis assured me it was cypress. A box of octagonal drinking glasses and a vintage brass putter from a bag of ancient golf clubs. Phyllis asked if I was Carol's new tenant, and I told her I was. It's a great apartment, I added for good measure. Carol seems like a good landlady. You should see her other places, said Phyllis enthusiastically. What other places? Oh, 9 or 10 of them. Carol's been buying up the neighborhood for the last 8 years. 8 years? And she renovated all of them? You betcha. Carol's a renovating force of nature. Her place on DeSoto is the masterpiece. A raised double-barreled shotgun, converted to a single with a completely new layout. You should see it. Phyllis was smiling to me and also to another woman directly in front of her. With quieter statements to a woman who had paid a few dollars for a lamp and was waiting for change, Phyllis carried on the two conversations concurrently. I nodded without inquiring further. Phyllis piqued my curiosity with the info on Carol, but for the moment, I was more curious about how to get all my new furnishings down the street. They wouldn't fit in the Volkswagen. Hey, do you have a truck? At first I hadn't heard the question. What's that? How are we going to move the big stuff? Phyllis clarified. Oh, right. I haven't figured that out yet, I told her. Carol has a truck, and maybe she'll help you out. She does? Sure she does, Phyllis confirmed. Phyllis was informative, pleasant enough, but I was wary of the suggestion to call on a new landlady for a truck loan, or to ask her to move furniture for all that matter. I wouldn't ask Carol even if she did have a truck. How often do landlords or landladies lend vehicles to new tenants? I told Phyllis I'd figure something out and come back in the afternoon. Thanks for the deals, I added to show my neighborly gratitude, then picked up the box of drinking glasses and new putter and walked down the street to my new back gate. Thanks for the check, answered Phyllis, with a wide, pleasant enough smile. After a sandwich, I sat in the new kitchen with the back door open and just stared at my car in the carport for a while. It was a nice warm morning, already in the mid-70s. Not bad for a lazy Sunday in late March. A tangible improvement over so many previous late Marches up north. At 1:30, a tan Chevy pickup pulled up on St. Peter Street directly behind the house. It didn't register until Carol climbed out of it. At the time, Carol was just my new landlady, and not someone I expected to see more than once a month, if that often. I pushed open the screen door and walked toward the gate to see what she wanted. I was just by Phyllis's again, she said. Apparently she offered you my truck. Did you find things you liked? She added, smiling. I did. I answered, intoning a little appreciation, which was appropriate. Phyllis is pretty generous. Great prices. I decided then that I might accept Carol's friendliness at face value. The neighborly gestures and the out-front work ethic are natural parts of some people, I've reminded myself, even if they're not things you find in the French Quarter. Oh, you'd be surprised. She'll lend your truck right out from underneath you, Carol said with another smile. I started to add something else, but she stopped me. So what are we picking up? Okay, just a few minutes. I need a couple minutes. I'll meet you there. Right, meet you there in a sec. I put my sandwich plate in the sink and pulled the back door shut behind me. Carol started her pickup. I went out the gate and stepped up to meet her at Phyllis's driveway as she backed into the yard as smoothly as a person pulling into their own driveway. With a little help from Phyllis's teenage son, Greg, Carol and I loaded up the couch, the wicker chair, the bookshelves, and the end table into her truck bed. 20 minutes later, the new apartment was nearly furnished. I thanked Carol for what was well beyond the call of duty and assured her that the April rent would be in by the end of the week. Thursday was a payday. Sunday night dinner was a bowl of rigatoni. On television, a movie of the week about the CIA and a gang of surfing arms dealers. As usual, I had optional reading for my young job, but ignored it. Nothing I couldn't look at over breakfast. After the movie, I read 25 or so pages in Rabbit Redux and went to bed. My then employer, EdTech Inc., produces admirable, small-budget educational videos on drug prevention and other similar topics, with pamphlets and workbooks, and sells packages of them to schools and police departments around the country. It was a very adequate job, 40 hours and benefits. Best of all, it afforded me the apartment and a batch of new home furnishing. Within the week, I would add a new mattress and box spring, additional shelves, and a small rug for the living room.